Welcome to this edition of Mayor's Report Livermore. I'm your host, Dr. Marshall Kamena. Joining me today is Mayor John Marchand from the city of Livermore. Welcome, Mayor Marchand. It's
always good to be here.
Nice to have you here.
Always a pleasure.
What's that?
I said it's always a pleasure.
Well, I'm back at you. We're always curious what you might want to say to our viewers for Mayor's Choice.
Okay, well, so last night I attended a wonderful program that was put on by Officer Don Swanson from the City of Livermore Police Department. We held it at Cedar Grove Church, and it was on scam awareness. You know, we're from a generation where people instantly had trust. You could seal a deal with a handshake, and that was good enough.
That was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people are preying on that, and they're looking at people that are, particularly people that are over 60 years of age, and they look at them as ripe for the picking for these scams. And there are over 100 different scams that they've got now, and using a variety of different technologies to separate people, primarily seniors, from their money. And I've actually witnessed several of these. My own mother-in-law got a phone call from her grandson, one of her grandsons, and said, "Grandma, I'm down here in Mexico, and I was in an auto accident, and somebody stole my wallet, and I need you to wire me $1,000 so I can get out of jail." And it was a very elaborate thing, and it sounded just like one of her grandsons. And there were two things that struck her, and that's why she didn't fall for the scam, is one, they don't call her grandma. They have a different name for her, and that's why having a key or a code word is so important to make sure that, so, well, if this is the case, you know, what's the code word? Well, they don't call her grandma, they call her something else. And the other thing that tipped her off that this was a scam was that he was sitting in the family room with her. So he couldn't have been down in Mexico because he was sitting in the family room with her. But had he not been there,
You're the real guy.
Yeah, he was really there. But had he not been there, she might have gotten scammed and actually wired money to this criminal. So you got to be very careful when dealing with somebody. They try to create a sense of urgency, a sense of fear, and they also play upon your trust. Another very good friend of mine was working on her computer, and all of a sudden she got this pop-up that said that her computer had been compromised. They convinced her to call this phone number from the Federal Trade Commission, and so that's when they set the hook. And this is a very smart person. They have they've managed budgets in the hundreds of millions of dollars, but because they were used to doing government contracts, this sort of played upon them because they knew how government contracts worked. And so they were saying, well, I'm with the Federal Trade Commission, your system has been hacked, your assets are at risk, you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement with us, a member of the Federal Trade Commission. We've got the FBI in here. So you couldn't, she said, you can't talk to anybody about this. And so it just kept getting deeper and deeper. And they actually told her how she could withdraw large sums of money from her brokerage account to move these, because they were going to protect her funds by moving them into a different account. And so all the way down this line, I'm thinking, this is a scam. And then they called up and said, oh, well, the Federal Trade Commission and the officers are on their way. Well, I happened to talk to the police chief, and he said, when they're on their way, they don't call first. They just knock. And so these are very elaborate schemes. So if somebody contacts you by the phone or computer, this was scary, because another couple of folks that I know, the daughter's phone rang, and it was a picture of her mother, on the phone, your mom's calling. So she answers the phone, and the mother says she's being threatened. And listen very carefully, you've got to send the money to this address. I'm going to be handing the phone over to this guy that's threatening to kill me, and listen to all the instructions. Well, they had spoofed the phone number, so when it came into the daughter's phone, it came up with the mother's photograph from the phone, because the phone recognized the number, so it popped up the photograph. So it led her to believe that this was actually her mother. Actually, it was not her mother's voice. It was an AI-generated voice that sounded just like her mother. So fortunately, the call dropped, and she called her mother's office and asked to speak. Her mother was in a meeting, so she was there. But this is how scary it was. It almost happened that they drained their assets to protect the mother, when in fact it was AI generated. It was an image that they had spoofed, and this technology is getting so good that we just have to get that much better.
What do we do?
Well, so the city actually has this really cool magnet that fits on most refrigerators, not the stainless steel ones, but it's beware of deceptive scams. And in fact, TV 30 filmed the presentation last night, and that is going to be presented here on TV 30, so that for seniors that can't get out of the house, but are still susceptible by phone or computer, they can watch right here on TV 30 this scam awareness presentation. But you can go to this police department and get this beware of deceptive scams. This is a contact about a problem or a prize. You may already have won. Publishers Clearinghouse, you may have won, and or there's a problem with your computer, or there's a problem with your bank account. We're after this one bank manager because we suspect him of embezzling funds, so we're going to move your funds into another account and see if we can catch him. And here, sign this non-disclosure agreement. So all these ways that they can bring people in. If they're asking for money, if they tell you how to lie or not to tell anyone, if the contact is pressuring you or frightening you, if it sounds too good to be true, if there's a sense of urgency, all of these things, hang up the phone, call up to somebody you trust, call the police department. Don't call the number that they provide on your screen, because that's another way that they can hook you in. So the police department will never ask you to pay a fine in gift cards. Doesn't happen. But this is one of the techniques that scammers will frequently use. So if they're asking you for your username, your passwords, this is the police department has these. It's going to be broadcast here on TV 30. Please pay attention. Watch out for scams. They're after you.
That's amazing.
It is. The technology is getting so good now that it's hard to tell. They can put you with people that you've never seen in places that you've never been.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information.
Certainly.
I think. The City of Livermore is going to be partnering with Pleasanton and Dublin to participate in the Tri-Valley Affordable Housing Fair. I wonder if you could tell us about the event and how those interested can attend.
Certainly. So this is the Tri-Valley Affordable Housing Fair. We're bringing together 20 different organizations. The 3 cities of the Tri-Valley, Livermore, Pleasanton, and Dublin, are coming together on this. It's going to connect residents to affordable rental and home ownership opportunities, assistance programs for low-income residents, tenant rights organizations, specializing with resources for veterans, for seniors, people experiencing homelessness, and individuals with disabilities. There are a number of programs that are out there that can help. This collaborative effort reflects our shared commitment to our residents and expanding solutions and providing critical information to people that are at either housing at risk or people that are homeless or people that need affordable housing options. This event is free and it's open to the public. It takes place on May 7th from 2 to 7. And it's going to be at the Wave Community Room in Dublin, 4201 Central Parkway, as I said, in Dublin. For residents, if they have questions, they can contact our Housing and Human Services Department. That's 925-960-4580. So again, 925-960-4580. And that's the City of Livermore's Housing and Human Services staff.
Thank you. I know that for some time you and I have been very close to the airport, very proud of the airport that we have here in Livermore. And at a recent council meeting, the funding was approved for the Innovation Center project. I wonder if you could give us a summary of that product at this time.
Well, this is very exciting. So this is a building that's sort of on the eastern side of the airport, fronts to Airway Boulevard. The building's over 50 years old, so it's time for a refresh, shall we say. It's an 18,000 square foot building.
18,000 square feet?
Well, that's not that big. I mean, we can put a lot of stuff there.
Was it a hangar at one time?
No, this one wasn't. It wasn't. It was actually a building. There's I think there's a motorcycle shop in there. There's an electrical shop.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Tucknot's place.
Yes.
They're all moving out. We're going to refresh the building. We've got an architect coming in to see how best to modify the building to incorporate these new uses. We're looking at probably 6 to 10 companies coming in there, specializing in defense technology, hardware, EV tolls. Those are electronic vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. These sort of people-carrying drones, or drones carrying people, I guess would be a better way to put it. But the supply chain, or even fusion energy. If you recall, last week we talked about the Energy Unleashed, the program that they had at the Bankhead, yes, talking about LIFT, the Livermore Innovation Center for Fusion Technology, Livermore Institute for Fusion Technology, and Inertia. Those are both tech companies that are going to be working in the fusion technology space, fusion ignition space. And it's in the design phase right now, but we're looking for targeting completion somewhere around 2027. And curiously, at the council meeting, somebody actually spoke against the technology center, but yet these electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles are the exact things that they want because they're non-polluting. They're not noisy. In fact, many of these are practically silent. So they're speaking against the very things that they have talked to the council about before. So depending on their politics at that particular point in time, that's why their opinion changes.
Thank you for that.
Know all that.
Wow, yes. Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on this edition of Mayor's Report Livermore in just a moment. Welcome back to this edition of Mayor's Report Livermore. We're here talking with Mayor John Marchand from the City of Livermore. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Sandia Labs just celebrated 70 years in Livermore. Can you believe that? You weren't even alive when they came.
I was.
Would you give us a brief description of the importance of Sandia Labs and the contributions they have made to Livermore itself?
Well, so they've been, for 70 years, they've been a cornerstone here in Livermore. They play a critical role in our national security and scientific advancement. I mean, these are, this is literally with Lawrence Livermore and Sandia, this is at the cutting edge of technology.
That's a 1-2 punch, isn't it?
And this is why Livermore's been called the smartest square mile on earth, is because of the laboratories that we have that are advancing our understanding of science and technology. This is world-class research that's being done right here in Livermore. They've been a great partner. Their STEM education, workforce development, community programs, they literally put Livermore on the map on the national scale as a hub for science, for technology, and for innovation. Now, the other thing that is so important with Sandia is the benefit for the community. Now, not only does it provide jobs and technology for the region, but the people that work at Sandia and also Lawrence Livermore, they volunteer in the community. They coach the Little League teams. They
Big
coach
time,
the
huh?
soccer teams.
Yes.
I was helped gut a house on Andrews Court with a team from Sandia National Laboratory, and we gutted the house. We restored it had been a drug house, and using our drug house nuisance abatement ordinance, the city acquired the property. Working with Habitat for Humanity, we gutted the place, restored it, rebuilt it. As I said, I'm working with he was then the vice mayor, Bob Carling, who was the director for the combustion research facility.
Yes.
He's hanging off the overhang and tearing out this awning. I'm tearing out the inside of the house, but we restored that so that a veteran's family could move in. And this is the type of benefit to the community. Marianne Wolk was the site manager for Sandia, and she played with the Livermore Amador Symphony, and she and I were on the Bankhead stage together performing Peter and the Wolf.
No.
And we toured that around to elementary schools. This is the benefit of having an organization like Sandia in your community, because they continue to donate back to the community. And there aren't a lot of places where you've got a defense and not a defense contractor, but the Sandia National Laboratories, their site manager performing on the Bankhead stage with the mayor. The bringing all of these things together is just one of the things that makes Livermore remarkable.
One more thing about Bob Carling. He devoted many hours to being a very effective scoutmaster, and my kids were scouts.
Absolutely. And he's back, I understand.
You spoke about this at the last mayor's report, but I wonder if you could remind everyone when your State of the City is and how they can join it.
Okay, absolutely. So if you've been to my State of the City, you know that I have fun. Sometimes presentations and talks can be dull and boring. I enjoy the State of the City because I love talking about our community, and I love sharing the wonderful things that are happening in Livermore. So this is, my State of the City is going to be at a luncheon hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be May 28th, Thursday. The doors open, I think, at 11:30. Presentation starts around noon. So people can purchase tickets at livermorechamber.org and get additional information and details. But I said, I love talking about the community. There are a lot of great things that are going to be going on. We're going to be talking about the celebration of the 150th anniversary of the City of Livermore, of our incorporation, 1876, and also talking about the 125th anniversary of the light bulb. So a lot of cool stuff going on.
No kidding.
So again, it's May 28th, Thursday. Go to livermorechamber.org for additional details and for purchasing tickets.
Well, please tell us about any other upcoming events.
Well, Police Department is hosting a drug take-back event April 25th on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you can take all those expired drugs and get them out of the house.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people thought of the idea, well, we'll just flush them down the toilet. Well, that's not a good idea because it ends up in the environment. If you put it into the landfill, it can percolate, the rain can percolate through there, and again, that ends up in the environment. So we don't want these drugs to end up in the environment, so this is a safe way to dispose of them. Take them to the police department Saturday, April 25th from 10 to 2. We cannot accept liquids, needles, or sharps. So that was one of the things when my cats were diabetic. I had to take the sharps to one of the local drugstores and dispose of the sharps at the drugstore, the syringes. So that was something that our drugstores have those, but they can't accept them at this drug disposal event. But again, Saturday the 25th, 10 to 2, right there at the Livermore Police Department. You can just drive up, hand it off, and they'll dispose of it for you. We also have an American Sign Language storytelling and music program at the Civic Center Library Storytime Room. That's the one that's kind of like the planetarium. That's going to be also Saturday the 25th from 10:15 to 11:15, so you can go there, drop off the drugs, and then go to the American Sign Language program. We'll have people that are hearing impaired sharing their favorite books. They'll be doing the interpretation in American Sign Language and also an artistic performance. The audience will be invited to learn ASL, American Sign Language hand shapes and vocabulary. And immediately following that will be a craft activity. It'll be presented in American Sign Language with English interpretation and subtitles as well.
Well, what typically would be the nature of the person who would go there? They already be proficient in sign language or not?
No, this is actually to encourage people to become proficient in sign language.
See.
In fact, my older son has taken classes in American Sign Language because working in the medical field, he needs to be able to communicate with all different types of people. And he has found this to be very useful as a means of communicating with people in the health industry.
Wow. Boy, the time goes by very fast.
Fun stuff, but again, lots of different things, but again, it's communicating with people of all different abilities.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Mayor, for being here today and updating us. And thank you for watching this edition of Mayor's Report Livermore. Join us for the next episode of Mayor's Report right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Dr. Marshall Kamena, and I thank you for joining us.